upset and mad because RFK Jr. is wanting to remove chips, soda, and candy from being able to be purchased and junk food with your SNAP benefits. Here's a summary of it. We're going to talk about it.
New at 6, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wants junk food stripped from SNAP.
Yeah, this is part of President Trump's plan to make America healthy again. Nearly a dozen states have agreed to the limits. Fox 35's Mike Emanuel has more.
The National Mall was turned into a bustling farmers market Monday, part of the Trump administration's effort to make America healthy again.
We need to lighten up some regulations that allow way more local food to be eaten.
And the administration is going further, approving more waivers allowing states to ban certain junk foods from the list paid for by the SNAP program, formerly known as food stamps.
Today, I'm proud to sign 6 more waivers for Florida, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Colorado.
The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, served more than 41 million people and cost $100 billion in 2024. Before the waivers, the funds could not be used to buy products such as alcohol, tobacco, or prepared foods. In May, Nebraska became the first state to get approval to also restrict soda and energy drinks. Proponents of the waivers, including Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., say they will incentivize Americans to eat healthier.
If you want to buy a sugary soda, you ought to be able to do that. But the U.S. taxpayer should not pay for it.
But industry groups like the National Grocers Association raised concerns the waivers could cause confusion among consumers, saying it's up to the government, quote, to determine whether their goals are being met without negatively affecting access to nutritious food. This year, SNAP has served a monthly average of 42 million Americans with about $188 in benefits per person.
So basically, what is happening is that there are groups of women that are upset. All right. There are groups of women that are upset that the Trump administration and RFK Jr. are going against how they feel. Let me see if I can pull up a video for y'all. Did my TikTok get suspended yet? No, they be getting mad when I post videos on TikTok. And so I'll be submitting the appeals, but they be getting mad at it and stuff like that. So, but that's okay. We gonna get there. Wait. How am I getting flagged on videos that I react to, but the original video that I react to is not getting flagged? That's amazing to me. How is that possible? I don't care about TikTok anyway, so it is what it is. That's why I like X better. So this is some of the sentiment of what they saying anyway.
Right now, there are people that genuinely think that people who use EBT don't deserve soda, candy, or desserts. You're gonna tell me that my daughter doesn't deserve a popsicle? You're gonna tell me I don't deserve to get brownies? You're gonna tell me I can't have Dr. Pepper with my dinner? And all I'm hearing is be grateful, it's free food. Get off of your throne of entitlement and take a look around you guys. Everyone is one bad day away from being homeless or even needing government assistance. Do you guys not see how that makes you look? Your lack of empathy and understanding is outstandingly atrocious.
So that is a sentiment that they are having, right? They are out here saying, how can you have any conversation and why should you have any say-so on whether or not we feed ourselves or we feed kids? Because it's a nutritional program, right? Whether we feed ourselves or whether we feed our kids, trash. Now, I don't really care what people do with their own money. That's the thing. I don't care what people do with their own money. If you want to go out there and feed your children trash, then you can go out there and you can feed your children trash, right? If you want to take your hard-earned dollars that you traded in your time for and you want to go out and you want to buy candy and donuts and soda for a growing child, then have at it. You can do it. I don't think that it's smart. I don't think that it makes sense. I don't think that it's wise, but people can do what they want to do with their own money. Have at it. Do what you want to do. I don't disagree with you doing whatever it is that you want to do with your own money. But why should we pay for you to do what you want to do with our money? That's the part that I don't understand. That's the part that I don't understand. Why should we pay for what you want to do with our money? And here's the other part. And this is the part that I even got mad at when I was talking about it in the beginning of the show today, right? And I said, it aggravates me trying to be the person that saves people from themselves when you're trying to be a community leader, or when you telling people to vote, or you telling people to educate themselves, or you telling people to get involved with the process, or you going and you canvassing neighborhoods and stuff. We often at times have to be the much, much bigger person, honestly. Do you know what being a saint is? Do y'all know? I'm going to give y'all my opinion because I think that it's fact, but I'm going to say opinion for the sake of conversation. Do you know what being a saint is? It's two things. Being a saint, well, I'm going to focus on the last part as it relates to this particular conversation, right? Being a saint, not a Christian, because I believe that a saint is much better, is much more elevated than a Christian. Being a saint is following through and doing it even though you know that they're going to hate you for it, but it's still the right thing to do. That's what a saint is. It's following through and pushing forward even though you know they're going to hate you for it, but it's still the right thing to do. It's knowing that you are going to be persecuted for righteousness' sake. It's knowing that this is what's best for people. It's knowing that people are going to get angry at you because the world is just a bunch of dope fiends. That's all they are. The world is a bunch of dope fiends. And if you try to take it away from them, then they are going to get angry. They are going to lash out. They're going to say some of the most crazy things. Have y'all ever seen a dope fiend? Have you ever seen somebody trying to kick heroin? All they want is they fix. They don't care what they'll do. They don't care if they steal from you. They don't care if they shame you. They don't care if they'll kill you for it if they are in the moment that they got the shakes and they need a fix. And so you understand that they got the shakes and you understand that you're the enemy. You're the opposing person. And so they don't care how they hurt you. They don't care how they affect you. The only thing that they got to do is get they fixed. Now, once they break loose from it, and that's who the people are that we got as bad chasers. Bad chasers are the people that see clearly. Bad chasers are the people that see clearly. We look at the rest of the world and we say, dang, that's messed up. And then they say, no, we want to talk to girls that's 12 years old. No, we want to have the drugs in our community. Man, you can't dick shame. Man, we should be able to do what we want to do. Oh my God. I look at this SNAP program as the same way. You're talking to people that you're trying to convince that they should not be feeding their children chips, candy, and soda, and they are fighting you with your money. So we're paying for them to have sustenance for their children. And we're saying, listen, if you're going to be on this program, you're going to have to get them some water. You're going to have to get some real ingredients. You might have to cook. You got to take care of business. And you got to be on top of things. And we're going to hold you accountable for it. And they saying, what makes you think that you should be able to have a say-so on what I could do? So we're saving them from themselves. We're blessing their children with our money, and they're lashing out on us because they feel a sense of entitlement because they've grown to become dope fiends and being able to say and do what they want to do, even if it's at your behest. That is what we are witnessing today. When we see people say, you shouldn't have any say-so with what we do with your money, even though it's in the worst interest of our children, that'll ultimately be the ones that's filling the industrial jail complex the prison industrial system, and we say, nope, we going to save you from yourself. And they say, we don't want that. The question then becomes, because I get frustrated. You see me frustrated in the beginning of the show. Do you press on, or do you say, you know what? I'm sick of it. There is no wrong answer. But why I say that saints are elevated above Christians, and you can move this to whatever it is that you want to move it to. The question then becomes this, because there is no wrong answer. Do you do the more elevated thing and be the bigger person and then say, you know what? I know you stupid. I know you dumb. I know you don't know what you're doing. I know that you don't know what's best for yourself. And I know that you're going to hate me for it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or do you just be a regular person and say, you know what? I ain't got time for this, because you're not going to be kicking me in my back while I'm trying to save you. That is the dilemma that good people have. Taxpaying citizens have. People that take care of their children and pay their taxes have. People that go to work every single day have, because you're not going to get the degenerates in the community to show up at the polls because they don't care. And it don't matter how much you whine. It don't matter how much you complain. You're not going to get people that are the bottom of the barrel when it comes to taking care of their business to feed their children nutritional things. But they going to complain about it all day long. They're going to complain about, oh man, I hated food desert, but then they're going to steal from the very place that they want open in their community. And so the dilemma with good people are they fed up enough to where they just say, you know what, I'm going to take my hands off of it? Or do they press through and continue to get their back kicked in? That is the dilemma. That is life. Is that when you become a good person, you become a villain to the person that don't want to be good. You become a good person to the... It's people that's in the chat right now. I see Let Freedom Ring, for example. Freedom Ring hang from my ball sacks every single place that I go. He's on every stream. He's on After Hours. He's on the Anton Daniels channel. He's on the Millionaire Morning Show. And every single thing that he's ever said has always been something negative. So first you ask yourself the question when you don't know any better, and you say, well, why is these niggas sucking my dick if they don't necessarily care for my content, right? Why are they so amused with me? So then you say no censorship, and then you let them continue to do whatever it is that they want to do. You let them keep coming on. And then eventually they get to the point to where either, because it's a time limit that you give them, right? So you say either you evolve to the point to where you stop being an idiot, and then we let you rock out, because sometimes you got to let the idiots hang around the good people, and eventually you rub off on them, or they just continue to sow chaos. And so after so many months, that's when you start banning them. And that's when you start saying, all right, no more. Because you're not necessarily looking to have real conversation. You just want to be a distraction to the class, right? I'm telling you the truth. This is my methodology and this is my thinking. When I see people that are dusty, most of them, 90% of them eventually say, you know what? When I first discovered you, I didn't like you, or I thought that you was wrong, which is cool. And I'm not looking for anybody or everybody to agree with me. But then there's a group of people that say, you know what? I objectively disagree with you. And it's not that I don't like you. I don't like your stance on this particular subject. I love those people because they disagree with me authentically. They agree with me authentically. It's an authentic look. But then you have the bottom of the barrel, and these are the people that look for attention. They never use a real name. They don't have a profile picture, and these are the people that jerk off in their socks. And those are the ones that you target, right? Because they have a decision to make. Now, they're going to suck your dick, and they're going to keep on rocking with you, and they're going to continue to subscribe, and all views are the same. But the question that you have to ask yourself is, how long do you let them disrupt the class? So most of the time I say, hey, let them rock, let them do their thing or whatever. And they teeter. Right? They borderline. They say some of the most disrespectful stuff in order to try to get your attention. And so what you do is you let it slide, and then you give them a warning. Time them out here and there. Hey, why are you talking about people's kids? Why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about that? Right? And your hope is that eventually they become logical human beings to where they can disagree respectfully with the things that they disagree with and not look for your attention. But sometimes you got to make an example out of them and you ban them all together. And so you give them some time and you let them hang themselves. You give them some time and you let them hang themselves. And so now, after so many months of sucking my dick, now he's gone forever and you'll never know what he ever said. Why? You wanted my attention that bad. Now you got it. And you realize that he was always going to be a dope fiend from the beginning, and that's just the way that it was going to be. Some people are born to be dope fiends. Some people are born to be crackheads. Some people are born to have a hardened heart for you to make an example out of them so that everybody else can stay focused. And that's life. They're not going to not stop watching. They may even create another account and come back. Sometimes they come back and they be logical because they don't want to get banned again. But most times they just keep watching and they just not able to comment anymore. But some people are just dope fiends. That's just the way that it was. You knew that that woman was going to be a fiend the minute that she came out, and you prayed for the best. You prayed for her, you hoped for the best, but she ultimately succumbed to the worst. Just the way that it is. You're not going to be able to save everybody. You're not going to be able to save everybody. Sometimes people are born to die. They're born to be demons. That's just the way that it is. Shout out to Let Freedom Ring. Got to sell your crack to somebody, right?